Um, Welcome, guys. So this is the first workshop we have on Unity. So till now, what we were doing was we were planning the games ideas. So yesterday, I think all the teams have finalized the ideas. I hope everyone had their meetings with the mentors. In some meetings, I was there, some I was not there. Otherwise, you would have had your meeting with your mentors. So the game ideas are finalized. For now, that is okay. But while you start developing, you will face many issues. You will think that, okay, this is not practically possible. We'll have to change the ideas and all those things. So that is okay to change your idea once the game development starts. Like not the whole theme, but some few parts of the games or some things that you planned is not working out accordingly. So yes, you will need to change those things, so that all things that you can change whenever you feel, and you can go to a better way so that your end result is good. So your main focus should always be the end game. So the things that we even said in the meetings with the mentors, always focus on the playability of the game. That is your think from the user end, not from the developer end. Think from the user end what you would like to have in your game. How would you like a game, that game in that particular theme should be, what should be the things. Is the game too slow, is the game too hard, is it too easy, is the game getting over easily, or is it taking too long. So these things should be at a proper mix. Like the game shouldn't be too hard nor too easy, shouldn't be too long or too short. So all those things you should keep in mind, because these are things that game developers think for a lot of time. They plan these things, they invest a lot of time in research of these things, and then they've come to this point. So same way you also have to think properly on these things. So like since we don't have much time, what we usually do is we go with the trial and error method. So we just take a value that we think, okay, this is quite good, and then we try to play with that. Then we realize, okay, no, this is not working out, we need to change this. Then you change that part to something else. So that way we can do. So that is one method of doing it. Okay, so that is what you should keep in mind. Another thing is, today what we are showing is only the basics of Unity, which are common for all the groups. Since everyone is making games in different domains, the code, the scripts, the using of Unity, everything varies. Because for every game it is different. If your game is a platformer game, it has a different approach. If yours is a 2D game, it has a different approach. If it's a 3D game, it has a different approach. And similarly in 2D games also, like I think most of them are making 2D games, but in 2D games also there are different types of games. Some are arcade games, some has player movements, some people doesn't have player movements. So these things all matter. Some may have this fights, some have racing, whatever it is, everything is different. So the approach for everything is different. So what we are focusing today is the core basics of Unity that you need to keep in mind when you are doing it, so that later it doesn't become a trouble. Because if you follow these things from starting itself, then you don't have trouble later. Because what when we were developing the game, what we wasted a lot of time was to understand Unity, because it takes a lot of time to understand Unity, because the UI is complex. If multiple people must have tried already with Unity, so you may know, okay, it is quite complex. Some things are not that straightforward to use, and all those things. So yeah, if you are knowing Unity how to handle these things, then only you will be able to do things faster. So in the starting, your development time will be too much. You will take a lot of time to implement even a small thing, but later by doing, you will learn more. So what you can do is you can go with the tutorials on YouTube. You can go with references from sites. There is Unity documentation. It is really good. And all other sites are there which gives you documentations, codes are available. So it's all component based. So like if you want whatever things you need, you search for that particular thing. Don't search, yeah, I need a complete game tutorial. Don't search like that. You won't get that. What you will need to search is for the particular component. Let's say you need to implement a menu in your game. Just search for a menu in the game and you will get it. I'll just start sharing my screen and show you some way how you can get each components. So we'll be sharing a document with you guys, which shows some important sites for getting assets and some things that they help you. One of the most famous Unity tutorials is given by this channel Brakis. So yeah, he said goodbye and he stopped giving tutorials 2 months ago. But till now, he has given a lot of tutorials. So he has a lot of beginner tutorials, how to make games, how to program, how to make a 2D game. He has a lot of things. So like if you need a menu item in Unity, just say menu Unity and you will get. So like it's always brackets that comes first. So there are multiple things also. Another tutorials are there. So whichever you want, see pause menu in Unity brackets. So these are components for each component. So you can go to this tutorial and follow this tutorial. Don't copy the same thing as it is. See this, do it parallelly, but understand what is being done in that and change it according to your plan. Okay. So this way you can do this. Similarly, there is player control. So player movement in Unity 2D, 3D are different. So whenever you're doing that, focus on that also. See movement in 2D is there. How to move the player, how to make the player jump. Say the multiple other channels also. You can take anything. These are the tutorials available for everything. So whatever you need, you can search in YouTube, or else you can go with this is docs of Unity documentation. Here also you get. So if you were in the starting of the meeting, I was talking about a controller movement. So character controller is a function, it's a library available inside Unity, and you can use that to make the character move. There are multiple ways to do the same thing. There are multiple ways. So same thing like in this tutorial, we'll show how two objects collide and ones get disappeared. So that particular thing can be done in various ways. So that is up to you to decide which way do you go for. So you have to check according to your situation and your need. So that it's not a fixed way कि चलो इससे करना नहीं ऐसा नहीं है. You can use any method. Outcome should be correct. That is what you need. So whatever you need, you can just search. You will get multiple sites where you get these things. There are see medium.com. There are other sites also. So it's wide range of resources are available. This is one of the major reasons why we stick to Unity. It's because it has a wide range of resources available. If you go with Unreal, Unreal doesn't have so much of documentation and resources available for development. Unity gives you that freedom. So this is the main way to learn to do Unity, because I give this workshop, I teach everything in at a go and I go. After that, you won't remember what I had done. Okay, we are sharing the video afterwards. You can watch the video and all, but still it's not that we can't learn it that way. You need to sit and try your code, and that way you can learn. So we'll start with Unity Hub. So the installation part I had told you last meeting also. Again, I'm going through it again. So to install Unity, you need to download Unity Hub, which is available from Unity site. So if you go to this and you download Unity Hub, once Unity Hub is downloaded, you can go to Unity Hub. And those who have attended workshops last year, if while I'm doing with the workshop, if I'm missing anything or you see some errors that you had faced and that you think should be told to others, just tell me in between whenever we are covering that part. So at that time, I'll add that also and explain that part also. So keep this interacting. Okay, so this is Unity Hub. Here in installs, you can add your Unity version. So for that, you need to just click on add, and in add you need to select the version of Unity. So I had again told this many times, I'm repeating the same thing again. To reduce the number of errors that you get while you are collaborating with a team, it is preferred that you download the same version of Unity on all the teammates machines. So if I am going with 2019.4.15, my teammates also, if they go with 2019.4.15, then that is a good way. That will reduce the errors of compatibility. It's not that you can't do it without that. The errors can be solved. There is small solutions for that. But still, if you don't want that errors to be faced, to not have so much troubles, you can just go with the same version. So once if you go forward with these things, uh, I don't recommend installing Microsoft Visual Studio. If you have a good PC with good specs, coffee space, you can go with this. But the software is quite heavy. So if you have minimum of 8 GB RAM or if it is lesser than 8 GB, don't install this. If it is more than 8, okay, you can download it. This gives much more freedom and syncing and all those things, but it's quite heavy software. So it's up to you if you want it. This will run without this also. Most important thing is Android build support is needed. Someone came. So yeah. So the most important thing is the Android build support. You need to have this installed, and these things are not Documentation you can skip, not needed, and all those things. Even if you install, it's not a problem. WebGL is actually for websites, the web-based games. If you want, you can install and keep that also. iOS, we are not currently building for iOS because for iOS building, it is a long step because then you need to export this, then you need to get it to Xcode. In Xcode, you need to build it, then you should have a developer license. Then you have to connect your Apple device with your Xcode, and then you have to export that game. And there are so many procedures for that. So that's why we don't go with iOS much, but we built for Android. Yeah, everyone has to build for Android because our games are to be published on Play Store. And Windows build support is for Windows apps. So that also we are not using currently, but still if you download and keep at first go, it is good. And then you go next and it starts downloading. So I already have a 2021.9 version installed. To start a new project, you click on new and then it asks you what type of project you need. So we need a 2D game. Give a project name, whatever your project name is. Select the location where you need to save the project and create the project. Once you create the project, it will directly open in the first go. So I have created this project and kept. So I will open this. Now the starting process will take some time because Unity is quite heavy. So this will load up the whole thing. Does anyone have any doubts? You can interrupt me at any time, okay? Am I going fast?
I don't think.
Okay. Hayden is being recorded, right?
Yes, yes.
How many of you have tried Unity already? Apart from those who were in development last year, the new participants who enrolled from you all, how many of you have tried Unity? No one? क्या मैं क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछूंगा, टेंशन मत लो, बोलो.
I have downloaded it.
Okay.
I have to decided the version and everything. Still have to do other things.
Okay, you
I
downloaded
think
Unity
Mansi
Hub.
already has Unity. Ask her version.
What?
Mansi, I think already has a Unity on her laptop. So check which version she's
No,
using.
no, I uninstalled na बाद में.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, fine.
Other teams? No one tried?
Done AR VR internships.
Okay, you had done an internship.
AR VR, so that's kind of
Okay.
different.
Yeah, it's thoda UI and all is different.
Hmm.
Okay. So the Unity is here. Your Unity may look different. The colors may be different. Mine is dark because it is in a pro version. Otherwise, it will be in lighter gray. So don't worry about that. That if I am using some different Unity or not, the same Unity. It's just the theme is different. Only the UI is different. The thing works the same. So this I had just done for trial. So I'll start from basics. Okay, so in this is a Unity UI. So this is the scene tab. Here is where you do all the editing. The game tab is where you test your game. So this is where you play and test your game. So if I click on play, the game starts playing. That is how it is. And in scene, there are two most important things. One is the main camera. Don't delete your game camera component. So if you delete your main camera, your game doesn't exist anymore. The game is there, but the game won't be visible. The camera shows your game. Another main important thing that you need to use is canvas. Canvas is used for UI. Okay, so there are two different parts in the game. One is the game view, the camera, where your player, sprites, everything is there, where everything moves, and all those things are in the camera view. The UI is done in the canvas. So you will see that this is the camera. This white box is the camera size. Now I'll show you the canvas. This big thing is the canvas. You see there is a huge difference between the size. Like the camera is not even visible when the canvas is visible. Even if I zoom in, the camera is not visible. It's because the camera is too small here in the lower right corner. Here if I zoom in a lot, then I can see the camera. Don't worry, it is like that only. Camera is small, canvas is huge. And one thing is that these two squares, these two rectangles are actually overlapped of the same size. So if you go to the game view, you will see this start written car, the new text is on the canvas. It is on the canvas. These two things are on the canvas. The road and the small car is on the camera. It's inside the camera. So you can navigate using this navigation. If you just double click, it takes you there directly. So you see the small car and the road is in the camera. But when I go to the game view, it's both of the similar size. Like it's the ratios are camera is scaled up to fit to the canvas, or the canvas is scaled down to fit into the camera. So the both the things overlap exactly on one on the other. Okay. So this is there. So here is the hierarchy. Here you will see all the components inside your scene. So scene is something it is important. So like scenes are like scene in a movie. So one scene and the other scene has no relation in between them unless you save those details and take it to the next scene. Otherwise, if you have one scene, you have another scene, it has no link in between them. They are two independent files. Okay, so inside one project, there can be multiple scenes, there can be multiple scripts. Scripting in Unity is done using C#. C# is the programming language that is used to do the scripting. So the file extensions would be .cs. So you can see this here, it's .cs. Then the more important part is the assets. So this project part is the file directory. So this assets is the assets folder in your Unity project. This folder contains all the files regarding to your game. Only the assets files. The other dependency files are all in another folders, which are not visible here. But if you go to the project directory, here there are a lot of files which we don't use. Our important files are inside assets. This folder is what we access in Unity. So there can be fonts. So when you create this folder will be empty with only one scene file in it. So the other files I created. So what is best recommended is you keep folders for everything. So if you have to save fonts, you create a folder called fonts. For scenes, you create a folder. For scripts, you create a folder. For sprites, you create another. So keep everything organized so that when your game becomes larger, the number of files keeps increasing. Then to navigate between your project becomes too difficult. You can't go and sit and search where your file is all the time. So you should know where your files are. So keep it organized. So these scripts are out because I just created them. I can actually move it inside the scripts folder. So it is here. So now starting with the main part. So here the nav tools are there. This is the movement tool. This is to move something. So if I click on this project, then I can move it. So if I click on the square and move it, the whole thing gets moved. If I just want to move it toward on the x-axis, you can hold this red arrow and move it. It won't move up and down, it will only move front and back. Similarly, if you want to move it top down, you have to use the green axis. So it takes you top down. Similarly, there is a rotate option. This will help you rotate your vehicle. And then there is enlarge. This makes the thing bigger, and this will enlarge it on the x-axis. This has this like it is like resizing in Paint. You can resize it by dragging and dropping it. And this is a multiple tool. It has everything combined. It has a movement, it has rotate, it has enlargement, everything combined tool. So this can also be used. It depends on you what you use. I prefer on this rectangle tool always because the two important things that we need to use always is movement and resizing. So this gives you both of them. Movement and resizing are the two important tools that you will need in this when you're designing your game. So this is here. Okay. So as I told, so we will start with the canvas first. So while setting up the canvas, you need to make sure of few things. This this is called as inspector. The right hand side where all this settings are there. This is called as inspector. So this is where you control everything. So when you select the canvas, like if you select every object, it has its own inspector components. Okay, so everything has its own inspector elements. So now I am playing with the canvas. So I selected canvas. So my canvas is highlighted. So in the inspector, I need to take care of few things. In the canvas scaler option, check the UI scale mode. It will be in constant pixel size. Change it to scale with screen size. Why doing this? It's because everyone has a mobile with a different screen size. Some may have a smaller one, some may have a larger one. So the screen size is not dependent on the size of the phone, but on the size of the pixels of the phone. So every phone has a different resolution. So depending on size is not physical, but it is pixel basis. So on basis of the pixel, the screen sizes are different. So to scale the game on all the sizes, like it should be responsive on all the phones, right? So for that, you should keep this enabled in starting itself. Like if you go and do it in midway, your UI will get messed up and you will have to set and design your UI again. You have to rearrange everything. Then there is a reference resolution. This you can keep at a standard resolution. So what I usually keep is 1080 into 1920, which is a standard for 9:16 ratio. So this laptop that I'm using is 1920 into 1080, but mobile will be a inverted version of it. So I replace the values. And then this screen match mode, I prefer to keep it at 0.5. This is why, because if you keep it at width, if you keep it here 0, it will resize the screen on basis of the width prioritized. If you keep it on 1, it will resize on the height prioritized. But if you keep it on middle at 0.5, it will give equal preference to width as well as height. So it will scale on, let's say, a diagonal basis. So this is something that we trial and error, we found out this is a better way. So this is can be done. Similarly, you have to,
Hello, Grijo.
yeah.
Yeah, vertical है ना अभी. If I have to make it landscape, then
Okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot that. So here in the game view, there is an option to select the resolution ratios. So there is free aspect ratio, the different ratios. So 4:3 is the old monitors that used to come, the Dabba monitors. That ratio is 4:3. So if you want a game in this ratio, you can go with this. If you want the newer phones, as I told, are on 16:9 or 9:18. The slimmer phones that come with a longer height are in 18:9 ratio, 9:18 ratio. These are actually landscape games. Okay, so this is why this is like this. So you can go with either 9:16 or 9:18. Okay, so I made this one and kept to make it this way. Oh, now I recognized. If you see my top bar, you see it is selected in PC, Mac, Linux standalone. It shouldn't be here. So the first thing that you start when you build your project, go to the build settings. In the file menu, go to build settings. This is called as build settings. Okay. Here, all the scenes that you create, it's numbers. You see a number in front of the sample scene as 0. These numbers are called as scene index. The scene index is required when you are changing between scenes. Now we are making for Android and not for PC. So you need to switch the platform to Android and keep before developing the game. Even if you start developing, you can change it midway. Because like when you are switching between, like if you send your project file to your friend and your friend is opening the file, it will by default come in PC mode. So make sure you go to the Android mode. Okay, so I'm switching the platform now. So this is important to make sure that you are on Android development. So this is what Unity offers. The same code, the same things can be run on any device. It can be made for PC, it can be made for Android, it can be made for HTML5, can be made for iOS, everything can be made. Xbox, PS4, all of these are supported. So this is what cross-platform compatibility that Unity provides. So this is where like it's just a click of button, you change the platform. So if you built on Android, now you need to build it for HTML. Just go to WebGL and build it again. It will be built for WebGL. So that way it has that cross-platform compatibility. So now I am changing the Okay. So now we are on Android. So here, yeah, here they give you the options. So you see there is 800 into 480, 1280 into 720, 1920 into 1080. This is for portrait, this is for landscape. So depending on your game, you can change the ratio. So if your game is a landscape game, you can go to landscape. If your it's a portrait game, you can go to portrait. This is are the two, or this is the these are based on resolutions, pixels. These are on aspect ratio. So I told you there are two, 9 is to 16 and 9 is to 18. 9 is to 16 phones are still there, but if you see the newer phones that come with a slimmer view, that is in 9 is to 18 ratio. For now, I am going with this. Later, you can change it according to whatever you feel like. So this is there. So now working on the canvas part. So in the canvas, you need to set UI scale mode, reference ratio, screen match mode, and the match value. Reference per pixels is always at 100. We don't change it. Next thing is with the camera. In the camera, what you need to will change is the near value. You'll mostly require to change this near value to 0. Otherwise, your elements won't be visible if it is below z-axis. So even though it is a 2D plane, it has a z-axis, which sets the level of the camera, how far your camera is or how close your camera is. That is dependent by this thing. And you see this in the boundary is quite small. So if you want to increase that area, you can increase the area of the camera. So now I have a bigger camera. So this way you can increase the size of your camera also. So that doesn't make any sense, because as I told, in terms of ratio, it is like both are overlapping, the canvas as well as the this camera. Okay. So now what we need most important is the sprites of the game, the UI of the game. These are the two most important things apart from the game functions like the scripts and everything. We start with the UI part first because that is the easier thing to handle. So I'll go with canvas. So in canvas, what we show is the UI. So the text, the buttons, all those things will come in the UI. So if you have a loading menu, if you have a settings menu, if you have a menu bar like a pause menu, and all those things should be designed in the canvas. So in canvas, to make a canvas, actually, I'll just hide this canvas. I'll create a new canvas. To create, you have to right click here in the hierarchy. There are options of 2D object, 3D object, light, audio, video, UI. In the UI, you need to find the canvas option. So here is the canvas. Put the canvas, as I told, see, by default it will be on constant pixel size. You need to change it to scale with screen size. You need to give the reference ratio. 1920 and match the height by 0.5. This is how we set this. So the canvas is rescalable. That scales according to your mobile width. So now in this you need to add things. So to add, you again right click on the canvas. You can add UI elements in the UI tab. So most important elements are text. Text Mesh Pro is an advanced version of text which gives you much more features of text editing. Once you are familiarized with text, you can go with Text Mesh Pro because Text Mesh Pro will give you a higher quality, higher editing options. There is image, there is button that comes with the Text Mesh Pro, and there is toggle, slider, drop down, scroll bars, input fields, canvas, panels, scroll views, and event systems. So I start with text. So you will see that this text comes as a child of the canvas. So if you had just clicked somewhere else here and put it, if it is not inside the canvas, you can just drag and drop it inside the canvas. Like if I want to take it outside, I can take it outside. So, but then it's not visible. So you need to put it inside canvas so that it comes when you display it here. So now the text will be too small by default. So it came somewhere else only. So it is somewhere far away from this. So I'll need to take it inside my canvas. So I take it inside my canvas. Now if I zoom in into this, the text by default is too small actually. So like here you have options of editing your text. So here you can edit the text. So whatever text you need, you can put here. Can change the font, can change the font styles, line spacing. Rich text gives you higher quality text, alignments, positioning, align by geometry, text wrap or truncate. Then comes this best fit. So if you click on this best fit, what happens is it will fit according to the border. So let's say this box is this much. You can see the borders of the box, but the text is too small inside this. Zoom into the text. Text is hardly visible. Like the font size is too small that it is coming blurred. So now my box is too big. I need to fit this exactly inside this box. What I will do is best fit this thing and then increase the max size to a larger value. So I will tell the larger max size, keep it anything. Even if you keep it 200, you see the text becomes large enough to fit inside the box. It will fit accordingly. Like if I resize the box, it will resize accordingly with the box. Okay, now the next part is the color. So in color, it is a 4-value RGBA method. So this is RGB colors. You can select from here also. I keep white. A is the intensity. So it shows you how bright or dark the color is. So if you keep it at 0, what I found was it is equivalent to being the object disabled. So if you want to keep an object not hidden but not visible, you can keep the A value at 1 or something. So it is like a transparent object. It is not visible, but the object is still there. To properly make it visible, you keep it at 255. This is the way. And or if you want to change the font size not on best fit but on your basis, then you can do it here. So whatever doesn't fit inside actually. So this way you can do it. But the best fit method automatically fits it to the best possible size. So this way it works. This text is to, as I told, to improve the quality of this. Recast target is what like should it be clickable? Like should it be like if you have a button behind the text, then recast target is like if you click on the text, it will click on the text. The button behind the text won't be clicked. So if you disable the recast target and click something which is behind the text also, it will get clicked. So that is what recast target does. This is not mostly used, but in case special cases it is used. So this is how you do the text. To import a new font, what you have to do is very easy. You just have to go and download some font from Google or anywhere. You just go and download a font. Okay, you take, let's say you like this font, you download this font, then what you will get is a OTF or TTF file. So I had downloaded this font. So to use this font in Unity, in the assets, I had created a fonts folder, or wherever in the assets you want the font file, just drag and drop this to here. It is important. Any assets, any sprites, any objects, whatever you need to import into Unity, very easy, drag and drop it, or just copy paste it. Only thing, nothing else you have to do. So it directly comes here. So now I go to the text. I need this text to be in this font. What I do is the font option is here. Take this thing, drag and drop it inside this box. The text is changed, the new font. That's it. This is how we do it. Okay, so like the text is, I've kept it big enough. And I'll keep it big enough. So now the text is here. This is how you edit the text. Similarly, if you want to have a button, you click on canvas. I add a new button into canvas. So the button is here. I have to resize the button. I can make the button bigger. The button comes with one child. The button always has a text by default inside it. So this is a child of this button. This, if you move the button, the text is also moved. It is grouped together. Similarly, you can group any number of objects together under any name, whatever you want. You can also have empty objects. You can create an empty object just to make an object with maybe just runs a script, or you may come back while you are learning more about Unity, you will come back to something called as a game manager, all those things. So that way empty objects will help. So in the button now the text is not visible. I enlarged the button, but my text is too small. So again, like you edited the text, you go, I put a best fit, I make it big so that I can see the font. Now I like say this font is not good, so I change the font also. Then if you want bold, you can do bold. If you want italics, you can do italics, whatever you want. So this way it works. Now I say the color is not good. I change the color also. Whatever you want, you can do with it. Okay, so now I have a text, I have a button. So what does this do? Like if you go to the play, the game section is where you play it. If I click the button, there's nothing happening on the button. Why is the button even there? So for that, what we will do is add this text button. I'll just use this canvas. Delete this canvas. Okay. So now I have this button. So this button does nothing. So now what we do is we'll go to scripting part. So in scripting, what we do is you can handle things through the UI, but there are some things that can't be handled through the UI and it should be automated. Like I say on click of this button. So I'll show you some UI based method of editing. So what I need is when I click this button, this text should disappear. So what I will do is I'll go to the button. Inside the inspector, there is an option. So inside the inspector of the button component, I have an option of on-click events. Okay, and this is this thing, button can be interactable, non-interactable. Like if you want to be, should have a click or it should be a disabled button, you can change it here. You can change the colors of the button. So these buttons are like, when you go to the play, if you click on the button, you will see there is an effect. I don't know if it is visible through the Google Meet. You see the colors are changing. It's fading dark and bright when I'm clicking. It's visible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that colors is defined here. So you can change that also. Like if you want some other color theme according to your game ka theme, put that colors. Also, you can change the look of the button. Like now it is a white triangle, but if you want something else, I just say I had this car right somewhere, or if the road, I want the button to look like a road. So I'll just take the sprite, drag and drop it inside the button ka image here. So this button becomes a road. So like that, you can maybe you get PNGs of the buttons, various styles. You can use that to make your buttons look good. That's how you do it. Now I need the button to do something. My button is not doing anything. So to do that, I'll put a on-click event for the button. So I'll add an on-click event. Also, there is this add component button where it allows you to add any component in Unity on any game object. Some things are not allowed, like you can add two opposing things together, so it will give you an error. But other than that, you can add any number of things. So for now, I am not showing you that because that we'll cover later. So now I am adding a on-click event. On-click event mein there is option of editor and runtime or runtime only. Runtime is when you are playing the game. Editor and runtime is also while you are editing in the scene menu. So I keep it here or you keep it here, it doesn't matter. Okay, and now what you need to do is on what object it should do the function. So what I had told, I want to remove this element. So what is that element in my hierarchy? Now this is what mistake many people do. How will I, like for now there are only few, but when your game is actually built, there will be lots and lots of objects inside the hierarchy. How will you distinguish which object was which one? So that is why you will tell you to rename the objects. Give names to your objects that define that object. So this object is my new text object. This button is my center button. Whatever is your thing doing, that way rename those things. Okay. So now I know I need to make the new button disappear on the click of the center button. So inside the center button on click, I'll drag and drop the new text object. Inside the snow function, this will show you different components that are inside the new text. So now I will go to game object and there is an option of set active. set active, S is capital, A is capital. This has to be written same as it is without any letter change. And there is this is a Boolean value. It's a true or false value. So it gives you a tick option. So what I want is on click of the button, it should be disabled. So I leave it unticked. If you click on tick, it will be like, it should be enabled. Set active is true means it is active. Set active is false means it is not active. It's disabled. This I leave. Now if I go to the game and I play it, if I click on the button, my text will go. Now how will I bring it back? So to bring it back, I can give another on-click function where I say, now I put it again, set active as true. This I will set active as true. If I go and play this thing, it will always be true. I did this on purpose to show you because it won't do as like opposite. It won't loop between these two. What will happen is when I'm clicking this, all the functions inside this will get enabled. So what it does is it first made it set active false, then it made it set active true. So it is always true. Okay, so don't do this. If you want to make it loop between this, I don't know if it is a correct way, but it is a jugaad way that I found. Duplicate this button one more time. Remove this one of this from here. This button makes it deactivate. This button will make it activate. This button makes it active. And this button makes it deactive. See, both the things are inverted. Okay. And now what will happen is both the buttons are active at the same time. So the button on top of the hierarchy will be shown and you will be clicking only that, not the button below it. Like if I play it, I click it, it is actually playing with the button on the top, which is making this text active. The part here, there is a hierarchy of the elements. So the button, if I take this button on top of this button, now the hierarchy is changed. Now this button is on top of this button. Now it will go disabled. See, but it won't come back because I am again and again clicking on that button which had this, the button which is down, which made it set active as false. So what I will have to do is when I click on this button, the other button should be enabled and this button should be disabled. Right. So what I do is I put this button itself inside that button and I say set active as false. So what I click this button, the button that deactivated the text as well as the text, both will go set active as false, both will disappear and the button which was below on it will be shown. Okay. So now what will I have to do is one more thing I have to do, that I have to enable the other button. So I take this button and I say set active as true. Like you have to invert the states of both the buttons. Same thing on the other button. What I will do is I will put this button itself here and I say set active as false and I put the opposite button here and I say set active as name object set active as true. Now it will do our purpose. I click, it deactivates, I click, it activates. If you see the hierarchy on the side, you can see the thing going deactivated and activated. See, now the top button is activated, the text is deactivated. The top text and the bottom button is activated. This is inverting both the things. This method is used in one place. In your game, if you want to keep a mute, unmute button, this is one method to implement that. This is an easier method to implement that. There are multiple ways to implement the same thing. Okay. And also remember that anything that is on this inspector element can be controlled using the scripts. So we will do the set active from scripts also. Okay. So this is here. Then we move with the camera part. In camera, what we focus is mainly on the characters, the sprites and everything. So the sprites and characters can also be placed on the canvas. But if you have a moving camera game, if your game is moving, the camera is moving in your game, then you need to keep it inside the camera. Okay. So now in this things, what are most important is like how I got the sprites. I got the sprites. I go to the website. I download some sprite. So, okay, this is very important. To get the sprites, I told we'll share your doc in which there are few sites that list. Otherwise, one method is you search for Unity assets, Unity free assets, or game assets, free download, all those things. Make sure it's not cracked and downloaded. There are sites that gives you for free actually. Few important sites are like Kenny gives really good this. So it is kenny.nl is a site. This gives you really good assets, very good quality. See, there are assets of roads, holiday kits, space kits, cars, lot of things are there. You can find there are game characters, whatever you want, you can take from here. Wherever you want, you can take. I don't allow you all to take things from Google Images. Like you can go to, let's say I want a car, I say a car PNG. PNG files are needed for games because we need transparent backgrounds. If you all don't know what is the difference of having a transparent PNG or not, I'll show you. You see the checkered part in this image. This is because this image is a PNG. If it was not a PNG, these are all PNGs. If I just say a car, so this file is not a PNG because this car doesn't have a transparent background. This car has a background. So if I import this thing, it will come along with this background. Even if it is a background is white, that also doesn't allow. Like, okay, I have this car. I can't use this also because even though it is plain, I can't use this. I need to have a transparent background. So for that, we go for PNGs or you search as car PNG transparent background. Sometimes you get PNGs with active backgrounds also. So I need my vehicle to have a transparent background. Okay, so this has a transparent background. Now don't download it here. Don't right click and save this image. Don't do that. Go to the site. You click on this link of the site. Go to the site. See how they are giving it to download. So let's say I need this car. I need this car. Go here. Download the PNG officially from the site. It gives you a PNG with a transparent background. Now to import this into Unity, just take this, drag and drop into the assets. Now you get the car. Here I have the car sprite ready. Okay, so this is how we do. Now how to bring it here in the UI. So to do that, so where first you have to decide where your sprite needs to be loaded. So I told if it is a character movement game, your character should be inside the camera. So that way, if you want it inside the camera, right click here, 2D game, kill a 2D object, and you put a sprite. This is one method. So you put a sprite and then you just drag and drop it into the sprite wala part, drop it here. This is your PNG. Now you should resize it however you want. I resize it and I keep it here, or I keep it on this side. Okay, so now I'll just zoom in a bit. To move the UI, I'm using holding Alt. Press and hold Alt and move the screen, then it moves. Otherwise, it doesn't move the screen. And to zoom in, you have just to scroll it in. Okay, so now I have this sprite loaded here. Similarly, I have this sprite. This is also one sprite. This is another sprite. This is another sprite. These are three different sprites on this camera. If you go to the game menu, you will see these sprites are here. Actually, my text is obstructing it, but still the things are visible. What I'll do is I'll make this text smaller. Let's make the button small. Okay, now if I go to the game, okay, my car is visible quite. I'll go back here to the camera view. Okay, so I have my car here. Okay, now how to make this car into a real car? For now, this is just a picture. It does nothing. Now you need to add physics to this car. So like अभी ये रोड इधर है, कार हवे में. अगर real life में होता तो कार नीचे गिरता ना. That part you need to do. So here also I am removing these components. This also has camera. Okay. This also has no components. So now if I just play the game, the car does nothing. Don't look at the blue car, it is activated. So this car is not moving, the road is not moving, nothing is happening. Car हवे में और गाड़ी कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. It should fall down actually, right? So that things are handled using different components in Unity. So components that you will require mostly is, one thing is a collider. What a collider does is it will detect if the object is colliding with some other object. So like दो कार आया, दोनों आपस में ठोक रहा है. So it should detect that collision. Then only you can perform some action कि चलो आगे आग लग गया या something is happening. Or okay, so and the other thing is to have a rigid body. What a rigid body is to make this image into a real life object. Like अभी तो फोटो है, फोटो को कार में बदलने के लिए you need a rigid body. So if you go to click on the car sprite, now see again the naming is bad. You should know this is the orange car, this is the blue car. I did wrong. This is not the blue car, this is the road. And this is the orange car. Okay, so now in the orange car, I need to add a rigid body. So for that, you go to the add component, search for a rigid body. Now I am getting two options of either rigid body or a rigid body 2D. Since my game is a 2D game, I can go with rigid body 2D. Make sure you are using all the colliders, everything in 2D. I go to 2D. Now it again gives me too much options. This is where the confusing part is. It gives you so much settings here, you're confused किसको क्या करने का है. So what this does is, it's always recommended don't change the default settings unless you want something to be different. Okay, so in this what you do is, there are three methods: kinematic, static and dynamic. Keep it in dynamic. Material not required. Simulated, keep it on. Auto mass is a feature that Unity gives, like it automatically detects the mass of the vehicle. It won't detect automatically because it doesn't know what vehicle it is or anything. It is just like when you're falling down, it will increase or it will set the speed automatically. Like it will increase the speed gradually as you go down, that way and all. Mass is the mass of this object. Now you need to specify this mass and this gravity scale. These two things are important to be set properly. Okay, like if you change these values, no, there are a lot of difference that will happen. Angular drag and linear drag are that gives you a push on the movement of the objects. So these values will give you increased values. This is gravity scale. It is like how much gravity should be applied. So now, since I applied the rigid body, I'll play the game and show you. What will happen is the car will fall down. The car falls down. See, and now if I change the values, I make the mass lesser. I say it is 0.1. Now what will happen is, if on Earth, if a feather is thrown or from air and if a ball is thrown from air, since the feather is lighter, it will fall slowly. Same thing will happen here. The car will fall down slowly now. This is again falling faster because it is still heavier. Like if you decrease the gravity also, and then it will slow very slow. See. So this value you have to decide. So like if you're using it inside the canvas, as I told in some games, you put it inside the canvas. So if you are putting it inside canvas, the canvas is huge. So there the values will be different for the object rather than it is inside the camera. These values you have to decide depending on your object, depending on your game's physics. So this is up to you, what you do. Okay, so this is how you put graphics. Now, when you see the car is falling down, it is not stopping on the road. It will go and fall down. This shouldn't happen. What should happen is, I want the car to land on the road. For that, I'll require a collider. So the collider needs to be on both the objects, not just on one object. Okay, so to detect collisions on this car, I need a collider on this car. So again, I go to the car and I add a component called as a collider. Collider में बहुत सारा collider है. See, there are a lot of colliders. So which is the best collider for my case, that I have to decide. So I will see, is my object a box? No, it's not a box. Is it a capsule? No, it's not. Is it circle? No, circle is used for ball and all. Is it a composite collider? No. Edge? No. Mesh? No. It is a polygon. It is a shape that has different shapes. It's not uniform, right? It's not a sphere, terrain, wheel map, tile map, or wheel. It's a polygon collider is required, and I need it in 2D. So I click this. It by default finds the borders of the image. See, now if I zoom it in, it found the borders. See, it found all the borders of the car exactly automatically. This feature Unity gives. So this gives you free. So now what happens if I don't use a polygon here and somebody uses a box saying कि यार ये तो box में है तो चलो box डालते हैं. See the difference. I'll show you the difference with both the things. I put a box for now, okay, not a polygon. I'm using a box. And now I need to put a collider on the road. Road is okay, it's very easy, it is a box. So I put a box directly. So yes, now one more thing is there that we need to set the boundary. So here if you click on this edit collider, it allows you to set the boundary like collider kidhar karna. I can make the collide here. So like see like by default it was here. I'll show you the difference. It is here, okay. The boundary is here. This border is the boundary. Car ka boundary is on its boundary here. The green line shows the collider, okay. The green boundary is the collider boundary. So it is here. Now it has collider. This has rigid body also. The road doesn't have a rigid body, but it has a collider. Can you tell me why I didn't put a rigid body on this road? Anyone?
I know.
Hey, you keep quiet. If you understood what the rigid body does, then you will know why I didn't put it here.
कोई भी आंसर कर सकता है.
Yes, yes. Open question है.
हाँ वो रोड गिर जाएगा ना फिर.
Exactly. Rigid body will add physics to the object. So इसमें rigid body डाला तो ये नीचे गिर रहा था. तो अभी मैं इसमें भी rigid body डाल देता तो वो भी नीचे गिरेगा gravity के साथ. So that shouldn't happen. This road has to be fixed. वो उधर ही चाहिए मेरे को. That's the reason I didn't put a rigid body on this road, but I put it on the car. So now I put a collider on both the things. Now I will play the game. So what will happen is, see, ये गाड़ी आके इसको कोलाइड होके रुक गया. But you see there is a fault here. गाड़ी हवा में रुका है. See, the car is in air. It's not on the road. So this is because of the box collider that I used in the car. The car's boundary is not here. It is below the wheel. So for that's the reason you need to choose the proper collider. So polygon is the proper collider for this case and not box collider. Remove box collider, keep polygon collider, play the game again. Now it will land much more better. See, now it lands properly on top of the road. But still it is not proper, na? It is because this in this image the road it should land on the road. So for that I can tweak the collider of the road. As I told, the boundary is here. I can edit this boundary and make it here so that this car lands here on this line. Now if I play the game, it will land in middle of the road. See, now this seems realistic. कार ऐसा चलती है, रोड के ऊपर नहीं चलता. रोड के should go on the center of the road, right? This is how small changes can make huge differences in your game. Okay, back it goes all back to normal. Okay, ये सबको समझा इतना अभी तक? Canvas, camera, colliders, rigid body, sprites loading, font changing. Anyone any doubts? अब कुछ तो बोलो यार. समझा तो समझा बोलो, नहीं तो नहीं बोलो.
समझा no doubts.
The new people who all are new to Unity.
कैलस तू बोल ही मत.
कैलिफ का मत
करेगा, कोई तो बोलना चाहिए.
वो है, वो लास्ट ईयर गेम बनाया था. Who are new to Unity, seeing this for the first time, are you all understanding?
Yes.
Okay. So how you handle it using the front end. अभी बैक एंड पे जाने का है. ये सब खुद से होना चाहिए, खुद से, और like as in you give some command and it should happen. For that what we will do is let's say what done hidden the code. Okay, so we'll start with a basic script. So there is this thing I did this, you should seen that I control this text using the UI here in the component, but I can do this on the script from the backend. So what I will do is you select the button which needs to have a script. These scripts are here. I can add everything on my own from the script. Script as in the C# script. Two ways of adding a new script. One, go to the component where you want the script, add component, search for scripts. It will give you option of new script. Click here and give a name of the script. This is text disappear something, and you click enter. It will create a script on this component. One method. Next method, create generic scripts inside your script folder. Right click on the assets folder, create. Here everything is there. I go for the C# script. Here also you click, give new file script name and click enter. It will be created. That is the second method of creating the script. So either of this way you can create a script. What I am using, I created a script file. The name is carmove. I open the script. It will open in your default code editor. I am using VS Code because this is what I use for everything. VS Code can be used. If you have installed Visual Studio, it will open up in Visual Studio. Or even if your PC doesn't have both of them, you can use anything from Notepad to Sublime Text to anything. But I will prefer you use some IDEs because it will give you the options of code snippets and everything. You can add extensions and all. So it's preferred to use some IDEs. Okay, so this is a script. One most important thing, system collection generic Unity engine will be given by default. So when I created this script, you see this is the standard script that you get. I'll open this. This is how Unity creates a standard script. इतना Unity free में देता है. बाकी जो चाहिए वो आप लोग ऐड करने का. So what this does is these are the few important libraries that are required. Here, important part is your file name and your class name should be same. So agar file name is new with N capital, behavior with B capital, script with S capital, this should be the same thing. So here it is carmove with C capital, M capital. Here it is carmove with C capital, M capital. You have to ensure that the both are same, otherwise Unity won't detect the file. Next thing, what start function does and what update function does. It is written here. Start is called before the first frame update. Update is called once per frame. So what start does is this function is run only once. When you click the play button, तभी एक बार ये कोड चलेगा जो भी इसके अंदर लिखा है. Update will run every frame. Every frame is not every second. एक second पे there are let's say 60 frames going or 120 frames going. उतने बार होएगा. So वो याद रखना. ऐसा it's frames are not seconds. Frames are very faster than seconds. So if you put some infinite loop inside this, your PC will end up getting blasted or something. So not blasted, it will just hang up. So that is how it is. So update functions in it. This is an infinite loop function. This function keeps on going unless your game is stopped or the script goes out of scope. So this is an infinite function. This is a single function. Okay. Also, you can have n number of functions other than this that you can make on your own. I say public function, something name, give some name, and you should have a return type. Whatever return type, int, void is because we don't return anything in Unity usually. Make a function and you write anything here. Okay, this can be done. You can make any functions of your own. Difference between making the function public and non-public. By default, it is private. Basic programming में सीखा रहेगा. Well, if you don't specify the scope, it is by default private. Why to make it public? It's because if it needs to be accessed somewhere else outside the script, because we will require it to be accessed outside. That's why when you are making functions, we create public functions if it needs to be accessed outside. Otherwise, we create it not. So I'll show it from this script only. So now what I need to do is that, let's say I move, first I'll show you about the text. Okay. So to do that, you need to add this library of Unity engine.ui. U capital, I capital. Unity is case sensitive. ऐसा का ऐसा ही लिखना पड़ता है. So UI, U capital, I capital. Now I need to add a, since I am handling a text element, I need to make a text component. This text type is inside this UI. So that's the reason I imported this UI. Text, I create any variable. So text is the data type and I create some text. Let's say that it was new text or let's say end text, whatever it is. This is the variable name I put. Anything is okay. Semicolon at the end. C# scripting hai. But what happened is this is a private function variable. I need this to be public. The reason I need this to be public is because if I don't create it public, I can't see it from Unity. So this is loaded on the camera car, I think. No. Aiden, where is this loaded?
Which script that is? The
Car.
car is on this only. On the car only you put it.
No, it was on that button. I
Yeah,
deleted that button. Okay. It's okay. So wherever I can put it's I just put it on the button where I can put it on the canvas, but I prefer to keep it on this button. So here I can put a new script or on click I put a script. So I drag and drop this script over here. I select, no, I don't drag and drop this. I drag and drop this on this element. I can drag and drop it like this also. Okay. I remove this. I just add a component which is car mode. Okay. So here you see the end text is visible, the car text, click, my text. These are all variables that I declared here and these are all public. If this is not public, see, end text is not visible here. I can't handle that from Unity. I'll have to handle it inside this itself. So, sorry, I commented it. Keep it private also, it won't be visible. Can't have it seen here. Can't see the script here. You need to keep it public to have it visible inside Unity. Now, what I need to do is, I'll create a function. So this is my function button click, which I remove this. So okay. So I have a button click. So what it should do is, I have this thing. I had 3 objects. So in the other thing also, I will have to have 3 objects. What are the 3 objects is one, my new text, another, my sender button, my another sender button. So let's say this is active button and this is disable button. This is some random name. Okay. This is active button, this is disable button. So I need to also have 2 buttons here. So you can, one method is you say this is a button like this, or you just say it is a game object. Game object is a generic name used for anything of this. Any of this thing can be imported there. Because since I am not handling the functions of a button, I am just handling the object in a whole. I can just randomly name it game object because then I can use anything there. So I say active button. Similarly, I need one more and I say it is disable button. These are my 3 objects. I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this either. Okay. So now I create a new function, public void button click. This is my function name, button click. What it will do is, on click of this button, it should invert the states of these things. It should invert the states. So what I can do is, I will just take this and I'll create all this as, Aiden, can we get the current state?
Of
Let's, current state.
of the
These elements.
yeah you can, but then it depends like there is a state.
So I'll just take and keep it. Okay, I'll just control one basic thing and show you. Okay, yeah, ठीक है, ये भी चलेगा. So I have this text and what I tell is, on button click, the text should be swapped. So what I say is here, end text dot set active Remember, this was the function that I was toggling from inspector, and I set it as false here. Okay, this is the function I say. So now I need to call this function from Unity. So I go to Unity. Rmove does not contain a definition for score. It's being called in the die, I guess. Text does not contain a set active. Okay, this is a game object. Okay, so now I am removing all these on-click functions. I don't need all this. I'll just add one function in which I put the button itself. Inside the button, I will get all the components. I had imported a car move script here. Inside the car move script, I have my function of button click. I import this. Now what this does is all controlled from here. Whatever I tell it to do in this function, it will do it here. Okay. So now if I go and play the game and I click the button, the text will vanish, but it won't come back because that thing is not activated. What I did was only to set active the text as false. So the same thing was doing here also. We were importing the text here and setting it as active as false. So the same thing is being done from the script. Similarly, you can do things like update the score and all. Like now I have this text. I don't set it active as false. Instead, what I do is I keep it as text. I'll modify the text. So now what I have is a score variable, which is an integer. On start of the function, I say the score should be 0 and my end text should change to here. This way you can change the text of the text inside Unity from the code. So the text component of a text data type. Here T is capital, here T is small. Okay. So text data type का text component को change करेगा तो ये text के अंदर का ये text change होएगा. Now this is new text. Now I say that it should be score is to score colon space value of score. ToString is a function that is used to make, this is an integer value. So I need to make it into a string to append it to the score, right? So I convert it to string, and F0 is if this was a float value, if it was not integer and it was a floating point value, and if you don't want to display the floating points, but only the integer part of this, then you write F0, which means floating with no decimal points, 0 decimal points. Okay. So this way it will update the text from whatever this is the basic script standard text, and I update it to the new text, that is score is 0 because the value score is 0 here. Now what it should happen is on click of this button, it should again update the value of score and make it increment by 1. So what I will do is score equal to score plus 1, and now again display the value of score. बेसिक कोड समझा? इतना ही कर रहा है. टेक्स्ट है, ओके, टेक्स्ट का और एक वेरिएबल है स्कोर. स्कोर का वैल्यू इज 0 एट स्टार्ट ऑफ द फंक्शन. डिस्प्ले करने का स्कोर कोलन स्कोर का वैल्यू स्ट्रिंग में. नाउ ऑन क्लिक ऑफ दिस बटन द स्कोर शुड इंक्रीमेंट बाय 1 and the value should also be updated with the new value of score. Simple. So I go back here. Now what will happen is it will say I have not given the script here. So now what will happen is whenever you are giving some, okay, these are not required anymore. Okay, so I'm removing these things. What you need to do is you need to give the game objects whatever you define. You should be referenced. So here it is now referenced to nothing. अभी कौन सा text को modify करना है? That you need to give the text here. So I need to change this new text. So drag this text and drop it inside this. Now text is referenced. There is one error. किधर तो है ये function?
अरे you put in the script now.
Yeah, I did.
कमेंट करना उसको.
No, I need this.
अच्छा, then go to your this now.
No, it's gone. It's gone. So now I put the function button click should be called on click of this button, and this text should be modified. Now if I go to game, now you see this is the standard text in the game. I play the game. It updates to score is 0. I click this button. That thing is still called. Move this button. See, the score is being updated. Every time I click, score is incremented by 1 and it is updating the value in the frame. Another method is this update can not be written here, but it can be written inside the update function. Update function I told will update it in every frame. So this is now resource consuming in my case, because why is this being updated every frame when I am not changing the value of that thing? Understand that? काम तो दोनों कर रहा है, but when my game is not, it will take more resources. Now वो फुकट में update होते जा रहा है. You don't realize it here. I'll tell you how to realize it. This is debugging. So if you need to check if some function is called or if some event is being functioned, use debug.log. Debug.log is same like printf in C, console.log in JavaScript, same way. So I say update. So every time this update function is being called, this will be printed in the console. This is the console, okay? Every errors, all the debug.logs are printed here. Now I play. See the number of times the update is being called. See the number here. You can't even see before it was called 1,000 times. Just see the number here. You will see it here. Eye on here, how fast it is incrementing. 1000 बार कॉल हो गया 2 सेकंड के अंदर. That is the speed at which this update function is being refreshed. तो इतने बार ये अपडेट करने की जरूरत ही क्या है ना? So this is how you think in a practical way. You should make your game efficient. अगर इसके अंदर कोई बड़ा सा फंक्शन कॉल कर दिया और वो ऐसा बार बार कॉल होते जा रहा है, then you will understand while you are playing your game on your mobile why your mobile is heating up so much. That is the reason. Because your resources are being consumed for no reason. Okay, so this is how you know this. Debug.log, very important thing to use throughout debugging, because errors आएगा तो इससे solve होता है. Okay, this is how you handle the UI by using the scriptings. Now, how to control your objects. अभी कार है, कार को move कैसा कराएगा? Like I should be like button दबा रहे तो move होना चाहिए या all those things. Or let's say like character है, character is moving, how it will collect a coin to increase your score. उसके लिए मैं क्या करूँगा? I have a score value in my car most. Okay. And now what I want to do is I need, when this car comes and hits, we were playing with this car, right? When this car comes and hits this ground, what should happen is my score should be incremented by 1. Basic, okay? Imagine this car is a player, this road is a coin. कार coin को touch किया तो score बढ़ना चाहिए ना, coin count increase होना चाहिए. How we will implement that simple thing inside the script? So what I will do is I will have एक text है, ये score text को increment करेगा. Score का value है, अभी क्या चाहिए? कार चाहिए. कार के लिए game object बना देगा कार. Now what we need to do is when car hits this text, okay, or we'll create a new script itself. ये script है, okay. This is how I show you how 2 different things are done. ये button click नहीं चाहिए अभी, okay. Score here, okay, yeah, done. What will happen is now I have a car object. I have my text in car move. I have my another script called as die in this die script, okay. Die script के अंदर car है. Car, this script on start is doing nothing, on update is doing nothing. Only thing it is doing is if it detects a collision, तो उसका function is on collision ender 2D. this is a inbuilt function in Unity to detect collisions. So अगर गाड़ी कोलाइड करता है कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट के साथ, so debug.log collide प्रिंट कर कंसोल में कि कोलाइड हुआ, स्कोर को इंक्रीमेंट करना है. The problem here is score is not in this file. How it will know कि वो वाला फाइल का स्कोर को इधर कॉल करना है? उसके लिए I can call it like this. I say car move का स्कोर को increment by 1 and destroy car. Destroy will do is it will delete that element. कार वाले एलिमेंट को डिलीट कर दे. कार इज दिस एलिमेंट, इधर जो एलिमेंट फीड करेगा वो वाला एलिमेंट इधर डिलीट हो जाएगा इफ दिस कोलिजन हैपेंस ऑन दिस ऑब्जेक्ट. ये स्क्रिप्ट जिस ऑब्जेक्ट पे डाला रहेगा, सी दिस इज नॉट अ पब्लिक फंक्शन, तो इसको हम लोग कॉल नहीं करते, ये बाय डिफॉल्ट चलता है. सो wherever you drop this particular script, if that game object undergoes collision anywhere, it will run this function. Okay, so debug करने का, स्कोर इंक्रीमेंट करके डिस्ट्रॉय करने का कार. This is what this is doing, but this will give you an issue. Yes, score will, you can't access some other file का variable directly unless you define that function to be a static variable. Static variable क्या करता है वो तुम लोग प्रोग्रामिंग में सीख करेगा. I am not explaining it now. Static variable will allow it to be called outside of this class. ये क्लास कार मूव है, ये क्लास डाई है. डाई के अंदर अगर कार मूव का मेरे को चाहिए तो उसको स्टैटिक बनाना पड़ेगा. If you created static, it is accessible globally. Just you need to specify the class name and then call that variable. This will update the score here. ये वैल्यू का स्कोर को इंक्रीमेंट करेगा 1 से. Now one more thing that I need to do is update the text. So अभी अपडेट करने का दो तरीका. एक तो इधर अपडेट करूंगा मैं, here I write an upgrade. तो अपडेट अगर इधर करने के टेक्स्ट को, तो ये टेक्स्ट को भी मेरे को स्टैटिक करना पड़ेगा. I create static, then update the text there, or else update the text in this file. वो करना है ना, तो where I will have to call this, I will have to call the update in the update function. Text को update इधर करना पड़ेगा. This is one method, but this again, as I told, is an unhealthy method because ये फुकट में 1000 बार अपडेट करेगा. इतना क्यों अपडेट करने का, उससे तो इसको स्टैटिक बना देते हैं और इसको स्टैटिक बना के इधर कॉल करते हैं अपडेट. ये नहीं चलेगा बिकॉज ऐसा आई टोल्ड, इधर बताना पड़ेगा कि कार मूव का टेक्स्ट को अपग्रेड करना है एंड कार मूव का स्कोर को अपडेट करना है. तो इसके साथ अपडेट करने का, कार को डिस्ट्रॉय करने का. नाउ आई नीड टू ड्रॉप दिस डाई ऑन माय ऑब्जेक्ट. तो ऑब्जेक्ट कौन सा है, ये वाला कार है. ये कार को नया कंपोनेंट ऐड करना है, यह डाई वाला स्क्रिप्ट को ऐड किया. डाई वाला स्क्रिप्ट में एक कार बताना है, कौन सा कार को उड़ाने का है. ये कार को भी उड़ा सकता है मैं, ये इधर आके ठोके तो ये उड़ जाएगा. आई कैन डू दैट ऑल्सो. सो बट आई डू दिस ओनली फर्स्ट. ये कार ड्रॉप किया तो ये कार इधर आके टच करेगा तो ये कार उड़ जाएगा. दिस इज व्हाट इट डज एंड टेक्स्ट अपडेट होगा. सो नाउ आई प्ले इट. There is an error. Car move script instance of an object. There.
Agreto, why you put the script? So, put a car.
I put it in orange car itself.
No, I think the same script is in car also. That's why it's making an issue. Delete the blue car now.
जैसे मैं निकाला ये,
ब्लू कार भी निकाल देना.
हो गया. The other script is there somewhere. अरे हाँ, car move is here.
इसलिए.
We'll remove this button. Okay, the button का काम तो हो गया अभी. You get as a errors, so you need to find those errors also. Reference not set. Set the reference now. Yeah, it's called.
Yeah, it's bravo. Do one thing now. Remove the reference and just say this dot. Where you're destroying the car? In your die, na? And where you put a die script?
on the car itself.
So 1 second. Do one thing now. Just comment this car and just say this dot object. This dot game object. And comment that car top thing is a public car.
I does not contain a definition of game object. Accepting argument for die. What?
1 second. I think game is on play. Click on stop the
sorry.
game. Clear car. No. Die car. Remove that car. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Remove car.
Update game. Small g. This dot game object small
Oh
g.
yeah, sorry. So you see it's case sensitive. Need to have it. Now if I play this, collide.
What it said? Object reference is not set to an object.
कुछ तो है.
1 second. Go to this. Collider 2D there. In the script only there's some mistake, show.
अरे हाँ, we tried it with box collider.
Collider is there. One minute now, for the script. What you're saying? It collides car.
No, this is right. One thing I'll do. For now we'll just add a box collider.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's colliding. That's not the issue. The issue is not destroying. You have put on orange car. You have put die, right? Show 1 second that die
What's
is there.
instance?
Show that there.
अभी
1
तो नहीं
minute.
किया.
This dot game object. Collide. What is the error coming?
Collision 2D call. Not set object not set to instance.
Not
24 line. Here.
What is
Error
it?
है.
Dot end text dot text. What is that? Where end text came from? Okay, that previous text. Don't update that here. That is anyway getting updated in the.
No. Okay, इधर update करते हैं. Okay. That is there's some error in that line.
I think the text was not static. That's why.
It was static.
No, what happens is when you make it static, you cannot assign objects directly. You remember? See now in your Unity window.
Oh,
Drag and
yeah,
drop.
Yeah.
For that we take one more variable and then put equal to.
Yeah, we could have actually made the text here also. You could have just made a new text variable here and done that. So this is how we collide it. So this way the score gets updated. No, it won't get updated because we are not calling it. So what I can do is you can make a public text
Capital T.
text बराबर ना?
Yeah.
Text here and
Score text dot text in your this.
text equal to score and you give value of score. Score is from carmo dot score dot to string and here I say f0 because I don't want any decimal points to come this way. Now same thing I will call it again here after it is updated so that it updates my text.
Oh, Grajo, you forgot an S to copy the S. Score.
So text. Okay. Now, if I play this,
You forgot to assign the text.
this is how we solve the errors. This is why you need a team. So you need to assign the text here. So I assign the new text here. Right. The score is 0. When it hits 1, it will increment to. So this is how you update the text from the script. Similarly, more things that are there is you can control the character using this. We have time, right?
Yeah,
I
you can.
downloaded script here. Don't know if it will work. I'll just explain this. I don't know if it will work. I have not tested this. So this is how the character controller works. In this, there is player speed, jump height, and gravity value. So gravity is how much gravity it should come down with, what height it should jump, and what speed the player should move with. This is the thing. So if it is the grounded, then only the player can jump. If it is not grounded, then you have to set the player velocity of y as 0. Like it should come down. Similarly, this is vectors are used to give the values of coordinates. So this x, y, and z values. So in this, what they are doing is they are making the controller move. Move is an inbuilt function in the controller. What it will do is it will move the value with time delta time. Time delta time is a common thing where you will find everywhere. What it does is it's an inbuilt function, inbuilt value actually. It will calculate the time of per frame. Every frame.
So actually, why they use time to delta time is because like some phone will be fast and some phone will be slow. So if you use normal time, then what happens in that is like your update loop is running multiple times, right? So for a phone who's faster, the update loop will run more times. But time dot delta time will like space it evenly. Like it will take the FPS of your phone and then it calculates the time.
Exactly. Like if you any of you are gamers, you will see the FPS always. Like किसको ज़्यादा FPS मिल रहा है. The more the FPS, the faster the game is playing. So like if your machine is quite good, if it has a higher specs, the FPS will be much more than a lower end machine. So that's the reason we take delta time, so that like if you say 1 second, if you tell ki move it by 1 second, so then 1 second will vary for all the phones, just like it and tell. So depending on the machine, it should work. So that's the reason we take delta time, and then you multiply it with the player speed. So it will move the player with to this coordinate with the speed in the seconds. Okay, and that is how it is done. And this is how you take inputs. To take button inputs, there is this thing of input, get button down, and just specify which button you want. So instead of jump, you can have anything like get key down arrows, like see input.
But they are doing Android, so mostly they'll have normal buttons only.
Yeah, actually, since we are on Android, we don't use these buttons, but to get input, or you can just get access to take inputs. Take vertical or horizontal axis. Horizontal axis, if you move it horizontally, and vertical is if you move it vertically. That way, it will help you to control. So, like similarly, there are buttons. If you are trying any time for PC, you will see there is get button down. There is something called as get button down. Get button down, fire one, mouse position, everything you can get. Mouse किधर चल रहा है, क्या चल रहा है, सब पता चलता है. There is one more thing as get key down. Get key down. See what this returns is you specify the button like key down space. मतलब space bar, if it is pressed, it should tell space bar is pressed. Like if I just copy this and if I put it in my script, let's say this script, and in the update button. So now what will happen is here inside the console, when I'm playing the game, if I hit spacebar, it will print here spacebar is printed. See, spacebar was pressed. So this, and you can change the event on that key down. So you can make it anything. Like जैसा भी ये text update हुआ ना, तो ये इस तरह भी update करा सकता हूँ मैं. Like
Yeah,
I
on
take
Android also you have like different like where the user touch the exact coordinates and all you can get.
yes, you can get where the touch is everything. So that way it can improve your game. Now if I take this, the score gets updated whenever I press space. Okay, this is one method. Similarly, in otherwise you use buttons on screen like You put a button on
Yeah,
it.
you can put a transparent button also, and like if you touch the left side of the screen, go left. Touch
Yeah,
right
if
side,
you
go right.
want two buttons, what you can do is in your canvas, you create a button on UI. Okay, you place a huge button. Okay, and resize this button to almost half the size of your screen, like this. Okay, now this covers half of my screen, but this shouldn't be visible. So here, as I told you, alpha will do the work. White है and a alpha को make it one. It is not visible, but it's active. Okay. Similarly, you can duplicate this button and create another button on the right side. Now I have two buttons. Each button can do a different work. So what I tell is, I'll create a script.
Write two functions and print left and right.
Exactly, I was doing that. So what I will do is I just create a new script. I say button, click, and I add the script. So in this, what will happen is I have two buttons, and on click, I should have two different functions working. So what public void right. This what we'll do is we'll debug log right. Similarly, there is public void left, which will do a debug dot log of left. Okay, these are two values. Now, in the on click of actually, I'll keep the script. One more method of putting scripts is using a empty object. This object can be anything. Let's say script.
You can put
Button.
the script on the button only, na, Graj, otherwise.
Yeah, you can do. I was just showing it.
Okay.
Like you can put it here. I'm just showing you you can control it from bahar also. So like this object has nothing but just a script. Okay. Now if I want the script to be called inside this button, I can add a on click and drop the script button wala object here. Then I can access that script. So this is the right button. And on the left button also I click an on click event. I drop the script button game object and I do the left. Now if I play the game, you will see when I click on the right side of the screen, left side it will say left, right side it will say live, right, left, right, right. This way you can control this can be a gamepad for you like this. It can be a transparent gamepad. This is how we do multiple events. Okay, one more thing is to Unity Asset Store. Unity Asset Store.
Window में आता है.
Window में आता है. Asset Store. Okay, this is where you get lot of packages. Okay, so search. Oh, hey, चला क्या?
Yeah,
Package
right.
manager. Okay, wow. Unity has changed. See here now, package manager. You can search it on Google Pay. Here it will. This is asset store. Here there are free as well as paid options. So if you go to pricing and you say only show me free assets, it will show you free assets. Now in free assets there are multiple things that you require. Some there are game assets like वो पूरा UI के साथ सब कुछ देता है, controller, everything. Otherwise you just want few items, you can get that also. See, these are the things that you use mostly. Joystick चाहिए. Yeah, whatever you want, like I need a controller, you need a joystick, you go here, you search for a joystick. Some people are making as a joystick wala games now, so they will need these things. Joystick, touch controller. These are multiple, like everyone uploads touch controller. So you can see which one is good for you. Let's say I like this one. I go to this, I can download this. It will open up in Unity editor. So it will fetch here and it will show you here. Then I can add this component here. There are multiple joystick pack. So I need this joystick pack. I download this joystick pack. So this will import the joystick pack and I click on import. It will ask you what all you need to import from this pack. If you don't know, just import everything. If you know what all you need, just click on that, import it. So this will create a new folder. inside my assets where it shows me all those things. Then in the documentation of this particular asset or this particular package, you will know how to use it. So you have to learn it from there, obviously, because otherwise you don't, or if you can learn it on your own, you can do that as well. So now if I go to the projects, I'll see here is my this. So in examples, there is a scene created. So I'll just go to that scene to show you all. So see here the thing is there. If I play, think the ball will move. Yes, see, this ball is being controlled by this joystick. Okay, so now how this is being controlled? See, there's physics also. The ball went rolling and it is stop it. So how it is being controlled is using these scripts. Here the scripts are there. What the script is doing is, I'll show you the script. See, it says a variable joystick. It is just finding the vector direction and it is saying go forward, right into add force. Add force is again a function which is there which will give that force. As I told, there is a lot of physics in Unity. Will give that force of particular direction and particular velocity and just push that object to go towards there. Baki, it works based on the this physics of the game. Since it's a ball, it will roll if it's given a force. That way, and this here is the scripts. What is bool value, current value, it's printing the value and all those things. Set mode, joystick type, fixed, floating, dynamic. There are multiple ways you can, here it is there, yeah. It's giving me options to change the type. It is fixed, floating. Floating is like I can click anywhere and udhar joystick aayega. That way, otherwise there is dynamic. Oh, it is moving with, wherever I move, the joystick is also moving that way. Then if you want only horizontal slider, giving horizontal. If you want vertical, it's giving me vertical. So see, these are the different packs that you get. So like now if I just want this particular joystick to be used, you can copy these scripts and put it inside your game and use it. So that is how you take it from asset store, okay? That way you can use the packages. Then one important thing is scene manager. Scene management is very easy. You can just search for a scene manager in Unity. There is a load scene option where it changes, allows to change the scenes. Okay, I'll just load scene. This is scene manager. I'll just show you how it is done. Basically, let's say this is one scene, okay? So this scene needs to be added to your build settings. The scene should be here. So when a scene is open, when you want to add it to your game, just click on add open scenes. Now I have two scenes. One is the sample scene, that is the scene that we created first. And this is the joystick scene. The index of sample scene is 0. Index of example scene is 1. I have two scenes. I go back to my previous scene. From here on the canvas, I put a new button. Now I'm deleting the old buttons, okay? I no longer need them. I'm creating a new button. Okay. The button does nothing but a simple function. The text of the button. Next fit. This button is there. What this button will do for me is it will change the scene. So for that I need to add a script. I add a new script. Scene change. You can have a
No
scene.
space.
Yeah. You can have a generic script also, like एक ही scene changer में अगर if you give inputs, it will change to that scene. ऐसा you can make it. Use your brains there. Not giving you everything. Here you need to add one library of scene manager. So that library does Unity Engine scene management. And then you need to put just this thing.
Create a function.
Second thing.
That will work, Rajo.
It's optional. Na?
No, you can load scene directly.
I want click just I do a public void change. And I say scene manager should change.
Scene name will be scene 2, I think, or just
So instead of this, what I will do is just
index.
give the scene number. The index is 1. Can also get the current index, current scene का index and increment it
Yeah.
by 1. That is when you, if you have a level based game and you need to from एक level complete or the next level पे अगर जाने करेगा, तो get the scene index of the current scene and add it by 1 and go to that scene. That way you can do. Now I go back to Unity. इस पे scene changer है. Scene changer पे I add this. I add the button itself. Scene changer, change the scene. This is what my button will do. Play the game. Click on this button. It will take me to the new scene. See how the scene changed. This is how. And like you can also have animations. There is a tab here for animations. Animation. So these are all next level things that is up to you. You have to learn all this and do it on your own. You can do. Then there is, yeah, in animation only you can have.
Yeah, there is particle system also, no?
Yeah, there is particle systems. There are a lot of features that you need to implement. The collaborate part is here. If you log into your account and you put a project ID and collaborate, then you can add multiple people to the same part, same this and collab. But that thing, as I told, may or may not give errors. So another method is, and it has limits also. Unity doesn't allow many people to collaborate on one project in the free version. So another method is you all create a account for, let's say, just for the game, and everyone use that same login for the game. You for Unity, everyone log into the same Unity account and do it. That way you can do. So then there's no need to collab. You just need to collab. Like there's a cloud button here. You can just upload your files here. In collab only, you just have to collab and upload all the files. Then whenever you change and save the files, it's cloud based, so it will get updated on everyone's machine, and everyone can just fetch the downloads and use it. That is one method, or else you can share the zip file and do it. That is also, it's up to you, however you collaborate with your team. Okay. And okay. And another thing is, the rest everything you can search online and learn according to your game. Another thing is for assets. Assets, there are multiple sites, as I told. Similarly for music and sounds, that all you can not focus now actually, because first make your game playable. We'll go over the music, background, everything later. Images, don't use from Google, as I told. Go to the sites of the PNG files and take it from there, or else don't take it if you don't get from there. Similarly for backgrounds, game backgrounds and all, if you are finding from Google and using it, make sure it is not watermarked images, it is not copyrighted images and all. You'll get stock images and all on Google. You can use those stock free images. So see, there are free to use images available. You can use these. These are free to be used. It's published for free use. So that way you can use. So yeah, I guess that's it. Anyone any doubts?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing.
समझा किसी को?
समझा समझा
कैलिस तो मत बोल तू.
अरे
हाँ,
Brother,
अच्छा आइडिया है.
what all you told today was like about 2D ना, तो इन
Yes.
3D भी थोड़ा similar ही होगा ना, या बहुत अलग होता है?
3D
The
में एक और
UI,
access आता है.
UI, everything is same for 3D. There's another axis. So placement of objects and all those things are a
Little ऐसा.
problem there.
Yeah, and then even debugging becomes a little hard over there. Because इससे थोड़ा access आता है ना.
Yeah.
Malik, what are you telling?
Sorry.
Malik was saying something, no?
Yeah, yeah.
I was saying, yeah, like काफी आइडिया अच्छा आया कि कैसा करना है ना.
See, at least you'll know what you all can do now. Then you all will find out how to do it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should have an idea of what is to be done first.
Yeah, like, and now also you'll know the possibilities ना कि ऐसा ऐसा हो सकता है.
Right.
That thing ना with Greta showed about that button का, I sat and wrote code for that. I remember. And then Greta was like, there will be a better way, and he went searching for the better way. And like full, I think 40-50 line का code I wrote to activate and deactivate buttons. And then later he found
Yeah.
this, and then he did.
UI based. So Yeah, that's what I told. There is multiple ways to do the same thing. Just
Yeah.
need to find a way for your project. That's it.
Okay.
I think we can end now, Agarcho.
Yes.
No one has had doubts, right?
No one has doubts. Then okay. Later now, actually now you won't get doubts because even when I attended my first Unity workshop, I had no doubts. It was so cool कि अरे कल game बना ही देगा. When you
वो
start
सब नहीं
developing, you'll
होता
just
बट
realize everything.
Exactly.
वैसे 1 महीना डेवलपमेंट के बाद फिर समझ में ऐसे हो जाता है कि बहुत हो गया नहीं चाहिए और
Let's see.
The
But don't lose
debug,
hopes, yeah.
actually the
थोड़ा
debugging will take time. Nothing
Yeah.
else.
एक्चुअली
अपना
only
development happens
starting
fast.
part. Starting एक बार सीख गया ना फिर ऐसा फटफट you will be able to do the changes.
For last
Starting में
people तो
ये
they have no
changes
issue also, I think. अभी उन लोग को basics आता है.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants scripts, you have to take Zytus. He'll send you an email with the script.
पॉइंट है
Zytus
साइटस
Zytus के पास सब स्क्रिप्ट रहता है.
सब A to Z सब
Not come today meeting is there? No, he's not there.
इज देयर आई गेस वो थोड़ा ऐसे शर्माता है बस बट
हाँ.
कोड मिल जाएगा उससे सब कुछ
हाँ कुछ बात नहीं करेगा तो भी कोड तो बेच के ही देगा वो.
हाँ वो तो हो जाएगा
ऐसे.
Cool then. You can leave then.
We'll end the meeting then. Thank you guys.
Yes. Thank you guys. Make must games.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.